You ever wonder why some brands command this almost irrational level of loyalty? I mean, it's a question that really gets to the heart of what makes some organizations wildly successful, while others, well, they just fade away. Turns out the answer starts with a really, really simple idea.
Seriously, think about it for a second. Why do we line up for that new phone or always go to that specific coffee shop, even when there are perfectly good, maybe even cheaper options right next door? It's not just about the features, it's not just about the price. There's something much deeper going on here. And in this explainer, we're going to get to the bottom of it.
All right, so to crack this loyalty puzzle, we've got to start by looking at how most companies and leaders talk to us. The reason so much of it feels, I don't know, kind of flat and uninspiring, it comes down to a fundamental mistake they make. And it all starts with the most obvious part of their story.
This is the easy bit, right? Any company can tell you what they do. We sell cars. We provide legal services. We make computers. It's concrete, it's tangible, super simple to explain. Literally every single organization on the planet knows this. Okay, so moving one layer in, some companies get a little more sophisticated. They'll tell you how they're different. This is their unique selling proposition or their proprietary process. It's their secret sauce. But here's the thing, even that isn't the key to inspiring real loyalty. And this is the missing piece of the puzzle, the real why. And listen, we're not talking about making a profit here. That's just a result. We are talking about purpose, cause, belief. It's the actual reason the organization even exists. And the best way to understand this is with a super simple framework. And that brings us to the core idea from Simon Sinek's work, the golden circle. It's a simple but incredibly profound way of looking at things that pretty much flips traditional communication completely on its head. So picture a target with 3 rings. On the outside ring, you've got your what's. In the middle ring, there's your how. And right there in the bullseye at the very core is the most important part, your why. Now, most of us communicate from the outside in, but the most inspiring leaders and brands, they do the exact opposite. And here it is. This is the big insight. The goal isn't to sell your stuff to people who just need what you have. The goal is to connect with people who believe what you believe. When you start with your purpose, you attract a tribe that gets you, that shares your values. So you've really got these 2 different ways of talking. The standard message starts with what, and maybe, if you're lucky, it gets to why. But the inspired message, it starts right at the core with why and works its way out. It seems like a simple little flip, but there's actually a powerful biological reason this works so well. Yeah, this isn't just some clever marketing trick. This is deeply rooted in how our brains are actually wired. Let's take a quick look at how the golden circle lines up perfectly with our own biology. So check this out. It maps directly to our brain. The what level, all the facts, the figures, the features, that speaks to our neocortex. That's the rational, analytical part of our brain. But our decisions, our behavior, all those feelings of trust and loyalty, that stuff comes from a different place. The limbic brain. This is our why brain. It's where all our gut feelings come from. You know that feeling, right? That is your limbic brain going to work. The numbers on the spreadsheet made perfect sense to your logical neocortex, but your gut, your why brain, just felt like something was off. It doesn't have the capacity for language. It just gives you a feeling. So what does this all mean? It means when we communicate starting with why, we are literally speaking directly to the part of the brain that's in charge of making decisions. The what stuff, the facts and features, that just gives us the language to rationalize the emotional choices our gut has already made. Okay, let's see this whole thing in the wild. And honestly, there's probably no better company on earth that illustrates this principle than Apple. So just imagine for a second if Apple communicated like pretty much everyone else. Their message would be clear, it's logical, but how does it make you feel? It's just a standard pitch that starts and ends with what? Yeah, exactly. It doesn't move you. There's no connection there. You might buy it if you happen to need a computer, but it doesn't create that fierce loyalty, does it? Now, let's look at how Apple actually communicates. Whoa, see the difference? It's huge. They start with their why. We believe in challenging the status quo. Their how is through beautiful design. And the great computer, that's just the what, the proof of their belief. That little jolt you feel from that message, that's your limbic brain lighting up. And the difference in the result is just profound. People don't buy Apple products just because they're good computers. They buy them because Apple's why connects with their own sense of who they are. It's a statement about their own identity. So, this all leads us to the most important question, right? How does this apply to you? Whether you're leading a giant company, a small team, or maybe just your own career.
Look, it's so easy to chase those short-term wins, manipulate a price, run a promotion. But if you want to build something that truly lasts, an organization that commands real, genuine loyalty, it has to be built on a clear purpose. It means you got to stop competing on features and start connecting with people on a deeper, more human level. Because ultimately, that's what all of this boils down to: trust. And in any kind of business, or any relationship for that matter, trust is the ultimate currency. It is the one thing that never ever loses its value. It's the unshakable foundation for any lasting success. And that's the real question to leave you with. It's not an easy one to answer, not by a long shot. But taking the time to discover your why, well, that's the true first step to inspiring action, building real trust, and creating something that actually matters.